This is the second in a series of a few videos that I will bring out on Ummanchandi and his impact on Kerala society. In this video, I am going to focus on his contributions to the infrastructure area in Kerala. As all of you know, Ummanchandi was Chief Minister of Kerala for one full term and earlier for a period of slightly less than 2 years. But his focus on development was very high from the very beginning, even though a lot of what we know about him is his focus on care. But the focus on development was very high. And when you look at the contributions there, I would say the big contributions that one can really talk about are the Viഴിഞ്ഞം International Seaport, the Kochi Metro, the Info Park in Kochi, the initial work on the Smart City Kochi, the Kannur Airport. So these, when you look at each of those, there are certain places where decisions had to be taken and where he actually took those decisions in spite of the kind of situation that they were in. So for example, in the Viഴിഞ്ഞം International Seaport, something which was pending for several decades, it came up, he decided to go to tender. Mr. K. M. Chandrasekhar was a member, vice chairman of the State Planning Board, actually worked very closely with him. They actually got the Government of India guidelines on what you call public-private participation for seaports done, followed those guidelines to the dot, and the Viഴിഞ്ഞം port tender was out. The multiple people who were interested, they did the road shows. Ultimately, there was only one tender which came in, but he, based on recommendations and looking at the rules which allowed that, he said, yes, we go ahead with the one single tender, in spite of the fact that there could have been this thing on competition, but it was open and people did not quote, and therefore we go ahead. So if you really look at that particular project, there were controversies which came after that, but none of it stood. Even the judicial inquiry ordered or the cases that were given were all quashed because it was totally transparently done. So Viഴിഞ്ഞം Port was one big contribution. In fact, that is something which the people of Kerala will never be able to forget him for. The second one was the Kochi Metro. The Kochi Metro, there were a lot of discussions, and it was originally thought to be a PPP model, but then there was a conscious decision taken that it will be done only in the government sector, and he got the Government of India to agree to it, got E. Sridharan and the Delhi Metro Rail Corporation to be the main contractors and consultants for that, and that came to a reality. Even though the formal inauguration took place later, I think he and Aryadan and others actually traveled on the metro for some distance. But he was clear, he didn't want it to be formally inaugurated before the entire stretch was done. The second one, the one which really did not go well and in a way slipped, was the Smart City in Kochi, which was with the financial involvement of TCOM in Dubai. On that project, it unnecessarily got into controversies. And by then the elections were being declared, so he didn't want to go ahead and start work on it. It was subsequently launched during the time of the next government which came in. But on that, the concept was very good. It was actually using private money for building infrastructure which would create jobs in a big way. Unfortunately, that project got delayed because of the kind of unnecessary controversies which came about. And ultimately, it came in the similar form as what Ummanchandi had originally proposed for it. And that project ultimately is there, even though it did not kind of make the kind of impact that it could have. The other one was the Kannur Airport. In fact, he could see the first, before he left his term, he could see the first aircraft fly into and fly out of Kannur Airport. So that was another of his successes, which is practically a greenfield airport, which was set up just like the Cochin International Airport was set up. The Info Park Kochi, again, was during his time. I think it was in his initial period where that came about, and that project actually, just like Technopark has done for Trivandrum, brought about a huge change in the IT sector in Kochi. When we look at these projects, which are the major projects I've talked about, you will also find that on the smaller ones, which are small roads, small bridges, small culverts, many of those actually came in because of the people's need in those areas for that. and he would actually work towards getting those approved. So overall, Ummanchandy's contribution for the development of Kerala in terms of infrastructure is very, very high. And I'm sure that the kind of economic impact that the Viഴിഞ്ഞം port or the Kannur airport would have on Kerala is something which we will all get to see in the years to come.